Namaste dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Master Physics Academy. By learning physics here, you will definitely master physics. This is the fifth part of video solutions to COMEDK 2020 where I am going to discuss question number 41 to question number 50 in a greater detail so that you are going to understand underlying physics concepts very well and also you are going to prepare well for upcoming exams. Let us begin with question number 41. Given below is the VI characteristics of a non-ohmic conductor. If Ra and Rb are resistance corresponding to points A and B respectively on the curve, then first of all let us draw tangents at point A and at point B to the given curve. We will find that slope at B is greater than slope at A. First of all, what does slope gives here? Slope gives change in current divided by change in voltage at that particular point, which is nothing but inverse of the resistance at that point. So this implies that slope at B, that is reciprocal of resistance at B, is greater than slope at A, that means reciprocal of resistance at A. This is going to imply that Rb will be less than Ra, which is clearly depicted in option 1, and this is also clearly marked in key answers provided in the official website. Let us move on to question number 42. A pump is lifting water from a sump at the ground level to a tank of volume 1 meter cube at a height of 36 meter above. The power of the pump if it fills the tank in 10 minutes is. So what is the work done? Let us find it first. It is going to be mgh, correct? The work done by the pump will be equal to mgh. So we know that density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. That means in order to fill the tank whose volume is 1 meter cube, it has to lift the mass equal to 1000 kg, right? So mass, in order to completely fill this tank, it has to lift the water of mass 1000 kg. So 1000 kg is the mass here. G value is 10 meter per second squared and H is 36 meter. So if you solve this, you will be getting 36, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in terms of joules. But they are asking about power. What is power? Power is work done per unit time. So work done is 36, 4 zeros. That means it is 3,60,000 joules divided by time. Time is given as 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes means 60 into 10. 2 zeros will cancel out and finally we are getting answer as 600 watts, which is clearly depicted in option 3. Option 3 is correct choice, but what I find here is they have mentioned small letter w, which should be a capital letter W, which is the symbol for watt. That's the mistake, I think. Let us move on to next question, question number 43. The relation between the decay rate R of a sample of radioactive nuclei and the number of radioactive nuclei N is given by. So we clearly know that R, that is rate of decay, is given by dN by dt, and that should be equal to lambda n. Be careful, it should be positive because radioactive decay means activity means number of disintegration taking place per unit time, which should be always greater than 1 and it should be positive. So the correct option is option 2. Let us move on to next question, question number 44. The electromagnetic radiations of highest frequency range are. So we know that more the frequency, more will be the energy. So highly energetic radiations out of given rays is gamma rays. Hence the correct choice is gamma rays. Let's move on to next question, question number 45. The bandwidth on which mobile phones are operated is. So in the year 2020, you all know that this part of the syllabus has been removed, that is communication. Communication is chapter is omitted from the syllabus. So they have given question from this particular chapter. So I think they should provide grace marks for this question. Strictly they should provide grace mark for this question because this is the question which is out of syllabus. But if you go by the answer, option 2 is the correct choice, which is 800 megahertz to 950 megahertz. Let's move on to question number 46. A particle of mass m at rest decays into two particles of masses m1 and m2 with velocities v1 and v2. The ratio of their de Broglie wavelength is. So according to the conservation of linear momentum. So what do we know that after decay, the particle say with mass m1 should fly this way with velocity v1 and the particle with mass m2 should fly off in the opposite direction with velocity v2 such that m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. This is according to the law of conservation of linear momentum. The linear momentum before decay was 0. The linear momentum after decay should be 0. That is the reason why they need to fly in opposite direction with equal momentum. So we know that de Broglie wavelength is given by h divided by linear momentum. Say here the linear momentum is p1 and here the linear momentum is p2 and they are equal in magnitude. So the de Broglie wavelength of the first particle is h by p1. For the second particle it is h divided by p2. Both the particle is having same de Broglie wavelength. Therefore the ratio is 1:1, which is also clearly depicted in the key answers provided by the official website. Let us move on to next question, which is question number 47. In a double slit experiment, the angular width of the fringe is found to be 0.2 degree on a screen placed 1 meter away. The wavelength of light used is 600 nanometer. The angular width of the fringe when whole apparatus is immersed in water of refractive index 4/3 is. When complete apparatus of double slit experiment is immersed in water, the wavelength changes according to the relation lambda dash equals lambda divided by mu, where lambda is the old wavelength when the apparatus was in air medium and mu represent the refractive index of water. So substituting the value of mu, we will be getting lambda dash equals 3 lambda by 4. Now we need to find the new angular width of the fringe. Let me call that as theta dash. But what do we know here is the angular size or the angular width of the fringe is directly proportional to fringe width. And what do we know about fringe width is it is given by formula beta equals lambda d divided by d, where capital D denotes the distance of separation between the slit and the screen. In both cases it is going to be same, and small d is going to mark the distance of separation between the slits in both the cases, whenever the apparatus in air medium and whenever the apparatus in water medium, it is going to be same. Then what I can write here is beta is directly proportional to lambda. Since we know that theta is directly proportional to beta, I can finally write theta is directly proportional to lambda. Now theta dash, that is new angular width of the fringe, will be directly proportional to lambda dash. Now let us take the ratio theta dash to theta, which will be equal to lambda dash divided by lambda. Lambda dash is 3 lambda by 4 divided by lambda will give us 3 by 4 as the answer. Now theta dash will be equal to 3 by 4 times theta, but theta is given as 0.2 degree. So now solving this, we will be getting 0.6 divided by 4, which is equal to 0.15 degree. Therefore, the correct answer is option 3, 0.15 degree. An electron, a proton and a neutron are moving parallel to each other in the same direction with equal velocities, enter a uniform magnetic field which is perpendicular as to their motion. Their paths are traced as. So first of all, I should check for neutron, which is neutral particle. It should not get deviated from the magnetic field. So option 1 is wrong. Option 2 may be right. Option 3 may be right. Option 4 is going to be wrong, because neutron will not take a curved path because it's a neutral body. So we need to check from option 2 and option 3, right? So the force experienced by a charged particle in an uniform magnetic field when the body moves perpendicular to the magnetic field is given by Q into V cross P. The force experienced by the body will be having direction along the direction of V cross P. So that is we can go with the right hand thumb rule. We should curl our finger from V to B. So V is towards right. Okay, you can watch your screens. It is towards right, and B is into the plane of the screen. Then when you curl it from V to B, you will be getting direction upwards. That means positive charged particle will deviate upwards and negatively charged particle will deviate downwards. So that is the option we should look for. So option 2 clearly depicts this situation, hence that is the correct option. But what I find here is the curved path is having same radius. The radius of the curved path will be like mv divided by qb. So m, it is going to depend on mass, velocity is given as same, and q. But in the questions they will be clearly mentioning that the diagrams are not to the scale. Be careful about this also. So hence we should only look for the direction of motion, not the radius of the path. Okay, so in the instructions part they will be clearly mentioning that it is not to scale. The diagrams whatever given is not to scale. So that's why we cannot claim grace marks for this question. So let us move on to question number 49. Here we have, consider the motion of the tip of the minute hand of the clock in 1 hour. We know that minute hand will start from position 12. In 1 hour it will come back. It will come back to the same position. So the tip position will be same after 1 hour. So displacement is a physical quantity which is defined as the shortest distance between the initial position and the final position, which is going to be 0 in this case. Hence option 1 is the correct choice. Let us move on to the next question, question number 50. The frictional force acting when a body of mass 4 kg just begins to slide down an inclined plane at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal ease. So let me write the diagram here. So we have an inclined plane with angle of inclination 30 degree. So the block is just begin to slide. Let me draw the various forces acting here. There is a weight acting downwards, which is mg. There is a normal reaction acting perpendicular to the surfaces in contact with magnitude mg cos theta, and there is an component of weight acting down the inclined plane, which is responsible for the motion of the block downwards, which will be equal to mg sin theta. There will be frictional force acting upwards to the inclined plane, which is mu mg cos theta. They have given that it is just begins to slide. That means mg sin theta will be equal to mu mg cos theta. In this situation, the block just begins to slide. So mu mg cos theta is the frictional force. There are no ways to solve for this mu mg cos theta, but we can solve mg sin theta. So mg sin theta, let me substitute. M is given as 4 kg, g is 10 meter per second squared, sin theta is 1 by 2, sin 30 degree is 1 by 2. Solving this, we will be getting answer equal to 20 Newton, which is clearly depicted in option 4. Option 4 is the right choice. Dear students, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe our YouTube channel. Share it if you like it. All the very best for your upcoming exams. Do well. Make physics your favorite subject. Happy learning.